Hi, Carla.
Hello.
Hey everyone, please mute your microphone if you're not speaking. Thank you everyone for joining this evening for our biannual reorganization where the 34th Democrat PCOs and members will elect new leadership for our 2025-2026 term. I'm Graham Murphy, outgoing chair of the 34th District Democrats, and I also just want to start by giving a big thank you to our elected precinct committee officers and members of our community for participating in a great forum on Sunday for candidates seeking to fill vacancies in our legislative representation in Olympia. Thank you to all of you for taking this responsibility so seriously. And thank you to our candidates. It was really incredible to see just a wonderfully diverse group of folks that are interested in representing our legislative district, and all of them demonstrating strong commitments to our community and the issues we're facing around housing, education, and the environment. And that was a really awesome way to end my chair time on a high note. So I'm excited to see the 34th Democrats continue to grow and thrive in the years ahead with our next group of leaders that we'll be electing here tonight. I'm now pleased to welcome Jeremy Barksdale from King County Democrats, who's going to now chair our meeting until we elect a new chair for our organization.
Awesome. Thank you, Graham. Welcome, precinct committee officers, to the 2025 34th District Democrats reorganization meeting. As Graham mentioned, I'm Jeremy Barksdale, and as temporary chair of this meeting, I hereby call this meeting to order. It's great to see all of you, and thank you since we're in the mode of gratitude, thank you for coming together to elect the leadership of your legislative district for the 2025-2026 biennium. We acknowledge and celebrate the incredibly strong and impressive results for the Democratic Party that Washington State and King County both made in the last election. And we know that this is in large part thanks to your efforts as PCOs. Your hard work canvassing, phone banking, and educating your precincts to get out the vote for our Democratic candidates are the foundation for our successes. So thank you for being prepared to do it again as we head into the next election cycle. Before we begin, let's all take a moment to thank our outgoing officers who dedicated so much time and energy to lead your LD, as Graham mentioned. So just maybe if you want to send an applause or anything like that, I just want to say thank you to all of you. I will now ask Rachel Glass to share our land acknowledgement.
Thank you. I just needed to unmute. Thanks, Jeremy. On behalf of the 34th LD Democrats, I acknowledge the land on which we stand today as the traditional home of all tribes and bands within the Suquamish, Tulalip, Snoqualmie, Puyallup, and Muckleshoot nations. Without them, we would not have access to this gathering or to this dialogue. I ask that we take this opportunity to thank the original caretakers of this land on which we live and work and who are still here. And as part of the 34th Dems commitment to walking the walk of taking action that goes beyond simply a verbal land acknowledgement, we are offering ways that you can take action with us by donating to organizations that benefit Indigenous communities in our district and across the country. The organization that I am highlighting tonight is the Native Action Network, and Jordan has put up the slide there. And so that is the address that I encourage you to go to please consider your one-time or monthly donation to this Indigenous-led organization as a way to solidify your commitment to the advocacy of our Indigenous neighbors and to help us deepen the significance of our land acknowledgement.
Jeremy, you're muted.
Thank you. So thank you, Rachel. To prepare everyone for what we're doing this evening and to be respectful of everyone's time, I want to confirm that everyone has received the agenda as written by your past chair, which we will now display on the screen as is displayed. Thank you. I will now entertain a motion. We'll entertain a motion to approve the agenda with some flexibility to allow additional business following the completion of your elections. Is there a motion?
I move to accept the agenda.
I second.
All right, let's see. That was moved by Graham Murphy. Who seconded? I'm sorry.
Tamsin, second.
All right, Tamsin Spengler, seconded. So it's been moved and seconded. Is there any objection? Any objection? Any objection? All right, hearing none, the agenda is adopted. And we will proceed. My role here this evening is to assist you in electing your LD chair for the 2025-2026 biennium, after which I will hand the gavel over to your new chair and depart the meeting. So thanks everyone for your support in getting through our agenda today. And I will now appoint our temporary officers. For meeting secretary, we have Steve Butts. For meeting parliamentarian, we have Graham Murphy. And for meeting credential and tally teams, we have Carla Rogers and Hannah Cameron. Thank you all for volunteering as temporary officers. May I request a report from the Credentials Committee, please?
Hey there. I'm still going through the list just to make sure that we hit quorum. Give me a few moments, please.
Take your time. Anne.
Yeah, hi. I just thought I'd take this moment to say something I was going to say a little later, and that was to thank everyone who is running for 34th District offices.
Sorry, Anne. And I think let's have you maybe hold off until Graham. I don't know if you all typically would have the good of the order or another time for.
I just wanted to use a little bit of this time to say they're an inspiration. Thank you.
I understand. Thank you. We will hold off on any further good of the order comments until the end of the agenda, just out of fairness for everyone.
So Hannah, we only need 20 voting members or 20% of the voting members or whatever is less. And for PCOs, only 20 PCOs or 20% of PCOs, whatever is less. So I think we should probably have that.
Okay, great. Well, then I can confirm that we have a quorum of PCOs.
Great. All right, I'm now going to turn things over to Graham to briefly explain the voting process.
All right. All right, I'm now in my role as temporary parliamentarian. So here are I'm just going to briefly share a summary of the rules for electing officers. But if you want further details, they're in the bylaws as well as the rules that were distributed to members and in the newsletter. So first, only duly elected PCOs may vote, make motions, second motions, and speak for chair, vice chairs, state committee officers, and King County committee representatives and alternate candidates. And then duly elected PCOs and individuals who became members for this year can vote, make motions, second motions, and speak for secretary and treasurer candidates. So essentially, PCOs can participate in the election of all officer positions, but if you are not a PCO, you can only participate in the secretary and treasurer elections if you are a 2025 member. The chair will ask for motions for candidates for each office. A duly elected PCO may make a motion to nominate a candidate for the positions they can vote on. And then to be considered, that motion must be seconded by another PCO. But when we get to secretary and treasurer, members can also make motions in second. Motions will continue to be entertained for each position to nominate candidates until there are no additional candidates for whom a motion is made. And then once all nominations are received for an office, the chair will call for candidate speeches in the order in which motions were received for those candidates. So candidates may speak for up to 2 minutes or cede their time to a PCO, or if it's a secretary or treasurer position, they can cede their time to another member. Once all candidates have spoken for a particular office, there'll be an opportunity for folks to speak for or against a nominee. If someone first, we'll see if there's someone who speaks for a nominee. They have 2 minutes, and that'll be the person making the motion, the original motion for that candidate. That person can also, who made the motion, cede their time, any part of their time, to the candidate. If someone speaks in favor of the nominee, an eligible participant can speak against the nominee for 2 minutes, and we will continue on for another round of speeches if folks want to speak. Any speaker, again, may cede all or part of their time to another eligible participant for that particular vote, but only the person making the motion, the original motion for a candidate, may cede all or part of their time to the candidate for whom they made a motion for. And then once speeches are complete, the chair will call for a vote of duly nominated candidates for an office, and a candidate only needs a simple majority to be elected to an office. Voting for any office with only one candidate will be done by voice vote, and we will use an electronic ballot for any office with more than one candidate. So that's the brief summary. Any questions? Okay. Jeremy, back to you.
All right, thank you, Graham. All right, so our next item of business is to elect your LD chair. As of the start of this meeting, only one candidate, Jordan Crawley, has indicated interest in nomination for this position. The floor is now open for other nominations, which you can make by raising your hand or indicating so in the meeting chat. Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? Are there any other nominations? All right, seeing none, nominations are now closed. Even though there is only one candidate in this race, we're going to conduct this election by ballot to make sure the voting process runs smoothly and there's a record. So if you could please vote by using the link that will be pasted into the chat window.
Jeremy, don't we have to have people nominate the folks, or is that not necessary in this election?
So I guess my understanding was that the nomination happened by Graham, and you can tell me what you talked about with Beth, but I believe there was a nomination for Jordan. Is that correct?
No, he just raised his hand and said that he wanted to be
Oh,
the candidate.
okay.
Someone has a PCO, which I am not, but a PCO has to nominate.
Oh, got it. Okay. Apologies. Is there a nomination for chair?
I nominate Jordan.
Julie Whitaker has her hand up.
Yeah, I nominate and second, or whichever order I'm in.
Okay, Julie, so you nominate.
Yes, I nominate Jordan for chair.
All right. There's a nomination that's been
I
made.
I second the nomination of Jordan Crawley. This is Danny
Danny Pinsker. Okay.
Pinsker. Thank you.
Seconded the nomination. And we've already asked for any further nominations. All right. But just to clarify, are there any other nominations? Okay. So now we'll paste the link to the ballot for the vote.
Oh, God.
Sorry, I'm launching it now.
Good.
Hey, folks, this is Hannah Cameron unmuting. Just a reminder, please only PCOs vote in this. You'll reduce my workload. Thanks.
And you have 3 minutes.
While folks are voting, I did put
Why
this
is
in the
there
chat.
this
But if
box?
you,
Why is there this box in the middle?
Oh, Graham, I think there's a window open in the middle.
Yeah, there's this box thing in the middle.
Yeah,
It's a,
I don't know what that is.
and
Yeah.
and I
okay.
love the way we spelled yay, but in fact it's YEA when we're
Oh,
voting.
sorry. We had to
Yes.
put these together quickly.
Yeah.
All good, all good.
But
Thanks,
I
thanks for the
prefer
grace.
having it go yay, so let's keep that.
I just,
Go
if
ahead,
you're moving forward, I think for the sake of Steve and whoever is secretary moving forward, if you are going to make a motion, please use the raise hand feature just so we can note who you are easily. And then if you're seconding, do that as well. Otherwise, we're gonna spend a lot of time saying, who's that? What's going on?
Mhm.
Did our rules stick with 3 minutes? I thought we had less time than that.
Our rules are 2 minutes. I don't know if King County Democrats have a separate.
Okay,
It doesn't matter.
just to be clear, I'm going off the script here. So the script says 3 minutes. So, but since I've said 3 minutes, I don't know, is it okay if we stick with 3
Yeah.
minutes? Just to
Yeah.
give people the time. Okay.
We're halfway done.
We have 52 votes so far.
Let's see if the number stops increasing, I'll ask for just a final reminder, and then we could proceed even if it's not 3 minutes. So let me know if that number doesn't keep climbing. Mhm. All right, we'll just give it another.
We have 8 seconds left.
All right. All right.
And we're done.
Thank you. All right, so we will close voting and give Tally a chance to count the votes.
Hannah, could you check the chat, please?
I'm responding to you right now.
Okay, thanks. Lots of questions in the chat. Dorothy, I just renewed, so can I vote? I believe that's a no. You have to be a PCO to vote?
And the other,
For the other positions, secretary and
and the
treasurer.
other positions.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
Someone
think
want to
we
weigh
have
in on that,
a,
Mr. Parliamentarian?
My understanding is that one had to have renewed by 8 p.m. yesterday. So
Okay, but then
I,
I
I
can't vote.
will check the bylaws and confirm that that is accurate for this meeting. That's definitely true for endorsements.
Yeah, when I went to pull the membership meeting, I didn't see any specifications that made this meeting any different, but happy to include anyone I can.
There's a request for credentials to go to proceed the results. So if you could provide a report.
We'll be providing a report as soon as we possibly can. This one takes the longest because I have to match, did everybody who's a PCO type their name in exactly as they registered with the county? And unfortunately, that does cause some delay. So doing it as quick as I can. Thanks.
All good.
Also, just as a point of clarification, there were no speeches made? Are we not going to do speeches for any of the nominations? Are we just blowing through based on a nomination?
The speeches were planned for at least for the chair vote where there was, if there were multiple nominations. But if there's a single nomination, then
Okay.
Okay.
Julie, do you have a question? Oh, you muted.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, so you're saying unless any position is has more than one person running for it, there will be no speeches for the people running for them?
Yes, or at least, yeah, exactly. At least for the chair. I mean, how you
Yeah,
all-
we have separate rules for the rest of the meeting. So
yeah.
Okay, well, it's just that the people that are running for the positions that are uncontested have speeches to say. They prepared them, and I think they should get a chance
yeah,
to
so we have
say
separate
that.
rules for the rest of the meeting. It's just these are King County Democrat process right now.
Yeah.
And the new chair will have a chance to provide remarks after they win. So yeah, they'll still have time.
So will they speak or not?
The
Yes,
newly
people will be
elected
allowed to
chair
speak.
Okay, thank you.
will- Carla.
I'm going to go back to what Anne was doing earlier. If we're going to have a big pause like this, I think we have a pretty heavy agenda. Is there any way that we could use this dead air to maybe get good of the order taken care of so that it doesn't extend the meeting even longer?
Well, I wanted to sing.
Yeah, I guess I would say let's let's hold off for now. For the rest of the meeting, your new chair, your newly elected chair can decide.
Okay.
Julie. You're muted. You're still muted.
Okay.
There you
Okay,
go.
now?
Yes.
All right, so we're waiting for the results for the vote for Jordan Crawley as chair.
Yes, that is correct. We're waiting on the results for the nomination of Jordan Crawley as chair. That's correct.
And we have how many people?
So I think Hannah will provide that once she's able to complete it. We're giving her time, giving her a note about it being a manual process. So when she provides the report, she'll provide the credential update as well.
And do you know what percentage we need?
Parliamentarian from the rules, what's the percentage? Is it just majority, simple majority for your chair or?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. There's a question about whether the video recording from the forum will be provided, but
It's already out there on our YouTube channel.
Okay, folks, thanks so much for your patience. We have a total of 45 PCOs voting there, and with 43 votes yes and 2 abstentions, Jordan has been voted to be our next chair.
awesome. Thank you, everybody, for your votes and congratulations, Jordan. I will now pass the gavel over to Jordan to chair the remainder of the meeting. Thank you all for having me.
Thanks, Jeremy.
Thanks, everyone. Since we didn't do any debate, somebody else got nominated. I'll read what I was going to say anyway. So as someone who grew up in the 34th and now is raising my own children here, I've experienced firsthand the change in our community over the last 3 decades. As an Army veteran, I'm no stranger to service and hard work. As someone who spent 6 years learning from the incredible leaders in this organization, I know we have the ability to achieve meaningful progress if we work together. We've navigated a global pandemic, found creative ways to energize and engage our community, and helped turn Washington even more blue while the rest of the country went in the wrong direction. I'm proud of what we've accomplished, and knowing what's left to do, I'm even more excited about what lies ahead. Since Election Day, I've had dozens of conversations proving that local Democrats are capable of both deep reflection and constructive self-criticism. If we stay committed and intentional, the lessons we learned from the November election will ignite a renewed passion for progress throughout the party. Moving forward, we need to ground ourselves in community and collaboration. We need to establish and maintain productive relationships with our elected officials, harness the intelligence, passion, and compassion of our neighbors, and relentlessly pursue meaningful change. And we must make this organization a hub of civic work once again. In November, Washington Democrats proved that we are the stronghold for the party. We showed that there is power here, not only in our state, but right here in our district. Real power with tremendous potential. We need to prepare for the challenges that most assuredly lie ahead and fight even harder to secure social, economic, political, and environmental justice for all. With me as chair, we'll outline and build from a blueprint for progress rooted in innovation and inclusion. And together, we'll strengthen our coalition, rebuild an unshakable foundation, and make our movement a model for the region and beyond. Now that I'm elected chair, I look forward to working with all of you and for all of you in the rest of our district. So thank you all for your support. And also thank you, Jeremy. You're still on the call, for getting us through to this point. Graham and I and Jeremy and Beth, the new county chair, spent a lot of time on the back end preparing for this meeting, mostly over email exchanges, which has its own obstacles, but we got it done. And now we're on our way to reorganizing for the new term. I'll go ahead and share my screen again. Okay, so as for the rest of this evening, here's a quick glance at the remaining business. As you can see, we have some significant business to get to, but first we need to wrap up officer elections. As we've mentioned before, please remember that it's only PCOs that are allowed to vote on officer positions until we get to the positions of treasurer and secretary. So first things first, we'll move into the election of first vice chair. So are there any motions to nominate candidates for the position of first vice chair?
I nominate Rachel Glass for the position of first vice chair.
I second. It's Carla Rogers.
Okay. Are there any more motions in favor of candidates for this position? Are there any more motions in favor of candidates for this position? Are there any more motions in favor of candidates for this position? Okay, hearing none, we will move into debate on the motion. So Bunny, since you made the motion, you can go ahead and take the floor.
Oh, thank you. I've nominated Rachel for a number of reasons. I've known her since I joined the 34th way back in the Obama years. And one of the things I've most appreciated about her is how hard she has worked to make sure that we have a diverse delegate pool for our conventions. We consistently earn the extra delegates because of her hard work in making sure that we have great representation from all groups, especially from underrepresented groups, in our delegation to state conventions. That outreach extends into the communities as well, that enables her to pull together some phenomenal monthly programs that we've all just sort of come to take for granted. That, oh yeah, when we log on for our monthly meeting, there's going to be some fabulous presentation before the business of the meeting, and we owe that all to Rachel. And finally, for the way she has run our service project. Every year she manages to find an organization that is more than worthy of the efforts and the financial support of the 34th, and put that together for a service project for us to do at the end of each year. And I would like to hand off to Rachel for.
Thank you, Bunny. I'm honored to be in this position, and I would be equally honored to serve another term as first vice chair. I feel that my deep institutional knowledge of the 34th Dems, this organization, since I have been on the board since 2019, my many productive working relationships with the wonderful members and PCOs of this organization, and also my commitment to and work in the community puts me in a unique position to represent the 34th District in a proactive and effective way. I am the twice elected PCO in the largest precinct of the 34th LD, which means I speak to many, many people, up to 825 voters. And that's just who are on the list. There are other neighbors that I speak to as well, just to help get out the vote. I've been a PCO since 2015. I also wanted to just mention that I work in the community, and I'm always trying to get folks from the 34th as well as from around the city to join in. I am the female voice narrator for the audio version of the Washington State Voters Pamphlet, which provides access to all voter information on the ballot in each election for blind and disabled voters. I have been doing that since 2013. I also serve as a table captain for the Washington Alliance for Gun Responsibility, and I know there are quite a few members in this organization who are members and supporters of the Alliance. So that is sort of what I want to say, just talking about my work in the community that I'm very proud of, and also the work that I do specifically for our RLD. So I appreciate your time, and thank you so much for your vote.
Okay, are there any speeches against the nomination? Any speeches against? Any speeches against the nomination? Okay, since we only have one nomination and we're through debate, I think we can do this by vote of acclamation. So is there anyone who is opposed to the election of Rachel Glass as first vice chair? Hearing none, Rachel, you are elected our first vice chair. Congratulations. Moving right along, we'll go into the election of second vice chair. So I will now hear motions in favor of candidates for the position of second vice chair.
Jordan, Graham's got his hand raised.
Yeah, Jordan, I think you're sharing your screen, right? Someone suggested that you might have windows in front of the slides or something that are causing the black boxes to appear.
Let's try it again. Are they still there?
Yes, they're covering up the screen.
One of them disappeared.
Well, and then they disappear, but then they come back again and they cut off the stuff on the screen.
Okay, are they still there?
Yeah, maybe stop sharing and start sharing again. And then if you have any of the Zoom pop-up windows open, maybe close those.
Okay, are they still there?
Yeah.
In the upper right corner, covering half, about a quarter of the way down.
Did you burn any rosemary?
There's nothing on my screen.
They're slowly fading. So
They're
indulgence.
going away. Got one in the far right corner.
Yeah, right there.
Don't change anything because they're not
Okay,
covering
that works.
anything.
That works.
I'll touch nothing. Okay. Are there motions in favor of candidates for the position of second vice chair?
I would like to,
Yes. Yes,
Carla.
I have my hand up. I'm sorry, I have my hand up. I thought we were doing this by people raising their hands, but I could be wrong. No?
I just jumped in because I hadn't, no one.
Anyway, no, I intended to, but I just thought someone was going to call because I had my hand raised. That's all. Chris Porter, I nominate Carla Rogers for second vice chair.
Okay, Ted, we'll go with the hand raise like Chris suggested. Ted, you have your hand raised. Are you seconding the motion?
Excuse me, mute problem there. I'd like to second for Carla Rogers. Thank you.
As well, Christian.
Carla or Rachel? Or
I was raising my hand to second, but if
We've
you,
got a motion and a second. Are there any more motions in favor of candidates for the position of second vice chair? Are there any more motions in favor of candidates for the position of second vice chair? Are there any more motions in favor of candidates for the position of second vice chair? Okay, hearing none, we'll move into debate on the motion. So Chris Porter, since you made the motion, you have the floor.
Oh wait, I think Jordan first. Carla can make a speech for 2 minutes based on the rules.
Oh, well, I'm not going to take 2 minutes, but thank you for the nomination. If you are a PCO, you got an email from me a couple days ago with my political resume. So I won't spend the time here repeating all of that. But as I mentioned in my speech for Jordan that I didn't get to give, I'm super excited for him to take the reins, and I'm really fired up and ready to go again. And while I will continue my communications duties, all of our channels, I would also like to step back into a leadership role on the board to support Jordan in his goals for the next term. We have so much to, we have so much to do as a party and as a local party organization. My 6 years on the board, I've proven that my dedication to the work and the work that I do is high quality. I have really high standards for myself, and I try to encourage others to, have those same high standards for what we do, even though this is a volunteer organization. Other than that, I'm just happy to get back to work, and, super excited to work with Jordan and the new board. And I appreciate everyone having the confidence to have me back. Back to you.
Okay, Graham, so by the rules, do we now go into speech 4?
So yeah, the rules are written that the candidate gives a speech for 2 minutes, and then the person who made the motion can give a speech, or they can choose not to, and we can move on. And if the person making the motion gives a speech, they can also cede their time to the candidate as well.
Okay, Chris Porter, the floor is yours if you desire it.
Yeah, and I'll be very brief. Carla's resume that she just laid out, I think, doesn't really exemplify her true commitment, dedication, energy, and the things that she has navigated and done for the 34th, particularly during the pandemic. Ballots were just a crazy thing, but she brought sanity to it. She is a true dedicated Democrat in the 34th who's always given her best and her all. We would be remiss not to have her as our second vice chair, where she can bring and continue to bring her communication skills and all of the bells and whistles that go with her. So I certainly hope everyone will support her in voting for her for second vice chair.
Thank you, Chris.
Is there any speech against the nomination? Is there any speech against the nomination? Is there any speech against the nomination? Okay, since there is none, that will conclude debate. And with only one nomination available, we can handle it the same way we handled the first vice chair election. So is there an objection to the election of Carla Rogers as our new second vice chair? Hearing none, we will consider Carla Rogers our new second vice chair.
Yay.
Moving into election of state committee representatives, we will start with the female non-binary position. So I will now hear motions in favor of candidates for the position of female or non-binary state committee representative. Preston, you have your hand raised. Are there any nominations for female or non-binary state committee representative?
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you, Preston.
Wonderful. All right. Sorry, I'm working from a tablet. I would like to make a motion to nominate Roxanne Thayer for the female position for the Washington State Central Committee representative.
I will second that nomination.
Are there any more motions in favor of candidates for the position of female or non-binary state committee representative? Are there any more motions in favor of candidates for the position of female or non-binary state committee representative? Are there any more motions in favor of candidates for the position of female or non-binary state committee representative? Hearing none, we will move into the candidate's speech, if the candidate has one prepared.
Hello, thank you. This is Roxanne. Thank you for nominating me for this position. And I'm looking forward to continuing in this position. So far, I've done a lot of doorbelling as supporting a PCO, and now I'm taking that PCO's position. This is my second time PCO on Vashon Island. I was a PCO in the 1980s. And also a state delegate for Bernie Sanders twice, worked in Burien and Vashon in doorbelling and Sign Depot for Bob Ferguson. I worked with the fundraising committee, and this year I'll be part of the fundraising committee. And if you enjoyed the silent auction, that's something that I worked with. And if you'd like to join me in that, please let me know in the future. At the state committee, I wrote the Keep Our Care Act resolution, which passed. More information on that in our Slack channel that I posted today. Also a climate resolution. I'm working a lot with state folks on healthcare and environmental issues. If you're interested in those, I would love to talk about them. And I think Ted and I are both hoping this year to get more information to you all about specific bills and actions you can take to support them. Thank you.
All right, we will now move into debate on the motion. Preston, since you made the motion, the floor is yours.
I would just like to say I've known Roxanne since 2021, since I've joined this organization, and I could tell everyone here that may not know Roxanne that she's a person of exceptional integrity and has fought a good fight and is always at the forefront of pushing forward issues that really matter to our communities and then our organization. So she is definitely a committed individual for this position, and I think it's a great selection. That's all I have. Any additional time I can yield over to Roxanne or another person that's supporting Roxanne.
Roxanne, did you want to use any more time?
No, I think I'll give it back to you all.
Okay, are there any speeches against the nomination? Any speeches against the nomination? Are there any speeches against the nomination? Okay, hearing none, that will conclude debate. With only one nominee, we'll handle this again the same way. So is there any objection to electing Roxanne Thayer, our female or non-binary state representative, state committee representative? Any objections? Any objections? Okay, hearing none, we'll consider Roxanne our one of our state committee representatives. We will now move into motions in favor of candidates for the position of male or non-binary state committee representative. Joe McDermott.
Thank you so much. As a former state committee man for the 34th District Democrats, in fact, the first party office I was ever elected to, it's my pleasure to nominate Ted Barker to continue in that role as our state committee man.
And I will second that nomination.
Thank you, Anne. We'll move into the candidate speech. Ted, actually, sorry, we'll do, are there any more nominations for the position of male or non-binary state committee representative? Are there any more nominations in favor of candidates for the position of male or non-binary state committee representative? Any more nominations in favor of candidates for the position of male or non-binary state committee representative? Okay, hearing none, we'll move into the candidate speech. Ted, if you would like to do so, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'd like to say, as you may or may not know, I was elected midterm to be in this, so I didn't serve a full term in this. And it's kind of hard to go into the state committee in a midterm form. Things are kind of formed and in place. And so I do look forward to the opportunity to serve a full term to really hit the ground running, which I was not able to do in this last term. But the real thing gets me is, after a crushing defeat like we had in the presidential election, this is where opportunities really come about to improve the message, the party, the organization. And this is the opportunity that I look forward to really make a difference and to see what we can do to be better as a state party. I know everyone likes to talk about how we were the most successful state in the country and that we need to share our knowledge with other states. I totally buy with that. But even for us, there's always room for improvement. And so I look forward to being a part of that. And I would hope that I could get your support so I could work on that with the state party in the next 2 years. Thank you.
All right, we will now move into debate on the motion. Joe, since you made the motion, the floor is yours if you'd like it. Joe, since you made the motion, the floor is yours if you'd like it.
Ted is modest. Ted has over 14 years of experience in this organization, has served as first vice chair. He may have joined the state committee in midterm, but had influence and was delivering for a district.
Are there any speeches against the nomination? Any speeches against the nomination? Are there any speeches against the nomination? Okay, hearing none, that will conclude debate. And again, same way, is there any objection to the election of Ted Barker as our male or non-binary state committee representative? Any objection to the motion? Any objection to the motion? Hearing none, we'll consider Ted Barker our second state committee representative. Congrats. Moving into the election of county committee representatives, we will now hear motions in favor of candidates for the position of female or non-binary county committee representative.
I nominate Bunny Hatcher for the position.
Okay, and Nick Benazza, I see your hands raised.
What, can I finish? For the position of KCDCC rep. I've known her for over 30 years, and during all that time, she has been an active and vocal Democrat.
Okay.
Okay.
Right now we're just doing motions, so
Oh,
we need.
I'm
We need
sorry, I
to.
thought I had to say all that now. Okay.
No, we're just doing motions.
All right, I make a motion For
Okay.
Bunny.
Is there a second? Rachel, I see your hands raised.
I second.
Okay. Are there any more nominations for the position of female or non-binary county committee representative? Any more nominations for the position of female or non-binary county committee representative? Are there any more motions in favor of candidates for the position of female or non-binary county committee representative? Okay, hearing none, that will close nominations, and Bunny being the candidate, the floor is yours if you'd like it.
Thank you. If you've all gotten my emails and read the recent newsletter, you know that I'm running for re-election to the position of your female representative to the King County Democratic Central Committee, where I've already served in this capacity for 2 terms, where I attended all the meetings and reported back on the organization's activities, and I fulfilled our committee's expectations by serving on both platform and endorsement committees. Actually, to be more specific, I'm seeking re-election to the executive board of KCDCC. I don't know how many of you PCOs know this, but the actual membership of the King County Democratic Central Committee encompasses all elected PCOs. So you guys are all members of KCDCC. And because you're members, I'm also encouraging you to participate through these committees working to advance our democratic values. During my tenure, I have developed wonderful working relationships with representatives from many of the other King County LDs, and they've been really generous in sharing their skills and information with me, which has made me a lot more capable in this role and made me a more effective candidate for this position. In addition, I am actually one of those dirt road Democrats. My precinct has everybody lives on 5 acres down a dirt road and has 2 dogs that want you to like throw the ball for them when you show up to knock on a door. So this way I show the Central Committee that we in the 34th know how to reach both urban and rural voters with equal success and be equally dark blue in both. That's really all. If you've gotten to see my email and the newsletter. So I just thank you for your time and for your support during these past few years. And I'm asking for your vote to continue representing you. Thank you.
Okay, with that being finished, we'll move into debate on the motion. So Julie, since you made the motion, the floor is yours if you'd like it.
Okay, so now I say what I tried to say before was wrong. I'm sorry. But that I had nominated Bunny for the position. I've known her for over 30 years, and during all that time, she has been an active and vocal Democrat. She is beyond awesome of all the time she spends on committees and doing all the work, and there's no one there to support her, and she just keeps doing it. So I can't think of anyone more qualified for this position. Thank you. Thanks, Bunny.
Okay, are there any speeches against the nomination? Any speeches against the nomination? Are there any speeches against the nomination? Seeing no hands raised, we'll conclude debate. And again, same way. Is there any objection to the election of Bunny Hatcher as our female or non-binary county committee representative? Any objection? Is there any objection to the motion? Seeing none, Bunny, you are once again our one of our King County committee representatives. Thank you. We'll now hear motions in favor of candidates for the position of male or non-binary county committee representative. Are there any motions in favor of candidates for the position of male or non-binary county committee representative? Gina, I see your hands raised.
Yeah, I would like to nominate Chris Porter for this role.
Is there a second? Christian, I see your hands raised.
I second the motion.
Okay, are there any more nominations for candidates for the position of male or non-binary county committee representative? Any more nominations for the position of male or non-binary county committee representative? Are there any more motions in favor of candidates for the position of male or non-binary county committee representative? Seeing no hands raised, Chris, being the candidate, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jordan. Like Ted Barker, I came into this role midpoint, so all of the committee appointments and everything had taken place, but I was able to join Bunny on some of the endorsements, help them better understand Conservation District. And in the past, I have actually chaired the endorsement committee, and that's quite the undertaking, as well as leading the Pride Committee and making T-shirts and just getting enthusiasm around the Pride Parade and the month of Pride. It's always been my absolute pleasure to represent the 34th. I was amazed, and it was my honor that I was the only person elected from the 34th to go to the Democratic National Convention. And every time a reporter asked me where I was from, I always said 34th Democrats in King County. So I'm hoping as I get a full term this time that I'll be able to jump in on endorsements and the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion and Belonging Committee and help reshape how we do endorsements of candidates, specifically around, for instance, our King Conservation District, in which the 34th was the only one in my reelection that was able to have their stuff together and provide me with an endorsement heading into that election, where many of the other organizations, to include King County Democrats, sort of got bogged down with how do we navigate this because we don't have this or we don't have that in place. And it'll be my hope to help them navigate that and come up with a process that doesn't hamper other candidates from running, because we always should be ready as Democrats. So I ask for your vote, and I certainly will continue to proudly represent the 34th.
Thank you, Chris. And with that, move into debate on the motion. Gina, since you made the motion, the floor is yours.
Sure, I'll just say it's quick. It's an honor to be able to nominate Chris tonight. I've seen him work on the King Conservation District as a supervisor in his role as state committee member with his Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging Committee, which he really brought back to the 34th and helped us do better in the 34th. And he will do great in this role in King County.
Are there any speeches against the motion? Any speeches against the motion? Are there any speeches against the motion? Seeing no hands raised, we'll close debate, and in the same fashion again, is there any objection to the election of Chris Porter as our other King County Committee representative? Any objection to the motion? Is there any objection to the motion? Seeing none, welcome back, Chris. Thank you. We'll now move into the election of county committee alternates. I will now hear motions in favor of candidates for the position of female or non-binary county committee alternate. Ann Martin, I see your hands raised.
Yes, I would like to nominate Hannah Cameron.
And Heather Barker, your hands raised.
I would like to second that.
Great. Are there any more nominations for candidates for the position of female or non-binary county committee alternate?
Yes,
Nick, I see your hands raised. Go ahead.
I would like to nominate Julie Whitaker.
Is there a second?
I would second it.
Thank you, Bunny. Are there any more motions in favor of candidates for the position of female or non-binary county committee alternate? Any more nominations in favor of candidates for the position of female or non-binary county committee alternate? Are there any more motions in favor of candidates for the position of female or non-binary county committee alternate? Seeing no additional hands raised, we'll move into candidate speeches. Hannah, since you were the first candidate nominated, the floor is yours.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Anne, and thank you, Heather. And thanks again, PCOs, for considering me to potentially be your next KCDCC alternate. And also just a big thank you for all of the upcoming work we are asking you to do. As I shared in the bio that was sent in the newsletter and via email, I've been active with the 34th since August of 2020 when I cold called Nick and asked to be appointed a PCO. Since then, I have taken on additional responsibilities, including stepping up to run the bespoke software program that we use to verify all of our votes online. And then I stepped up and also became the membership and hospitality chair when Graham asked me, as well as serving on multiple committees throughout the last 2 years. The work that I have done was recognized in 2023 as the Rising Star Award, and that meant a lot to me, and it's something I'm continuing to try to live up to. I ask that, if you guys choose to elect me tonight, that I promise that with the privilege of getting to be Bunny's understudy at the King County level, I will take to heart the pleas that she has made for more people to join her in her work on the endorsements committee. I serve on the 34th endorsement committee, and in that work, I've been able to see some of the interviews, and I completely agree with her assessment that more folks need to show up and be a part of that work. In addition to not just being the King County alt, it also means that I would be an officer of this organization, and that is something I hold of high esteem. So with that, I thank you for your vote tonight.
Okay, and Graham, should we go into debate on this motion before we go into the other candidate speech, or do candidate speeches first?
We do candidate speeches first.
Okay, so Julie, being the other candidate, you can go ahead with your speech.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Julie Whitaker, running for King County Central Committee alternate female. In 2018, I was elected to my first term as PCO and will be beginning my 4th term. Since then, I have spent countless hours talking to voters and working to get out the vote. After gaining confidence in my PCO role, I wanted to do more for the 34th and took on the role of treasurer, which put me on the executive board. I have served in that capacity for the past 4 years. Thanks to Carla Rogers' training and support, I now have more tech knowledge and abilities that I ever dreamed possible of. Thank you, Carla. During those years, I was also elected as a delegate to our state conventions in 2022 and 2024, which connected me to Democrats from numerous other legislative districts. I enjoyed meeting them and learning about the candidates and issues in those districts. This has made me want involvement in the work of democracy beyond just our 34th. And I believe that that participation in the King County Central Committee is an ideal way for me to do that. I have a thorough understanding of what is required of this position, including taking notes and getting a report to awesome Stephen Buzz for the newsletter within 24 hours. I have experience consistently completing and submitting budget reports within tight time frames. Thank you for your consideration. I hope that my years of PCO and treasurer service to the 34th demonstrates to you that I am the ideal candidate to take on the position of KCDCC alternate.
Thank you, Julie. Okay, so since Hannah's motion was first, we'll move into debate on that motion. So, Anne, since you made the motion for Hannah, the floor is yours if you'd like it.
Thank you. I am happy to nominate Hannah Cameron for alternate representative to the KCDCC. Over the last 2 years, I have worked closely with Hannah on a number of projects for the 34th District, including in particular endorsements and resolutions where she has used her technical skills and knowledge, as well as her investigative curiosity, to facilitate our process and to improve and inform our decisions. I think it is imperative we as an organization support, invest, and mentor the growth of our members in our party. My judgment is that voting for Hannah in this election will not only support her, but grow the quality of our organization. I hope you will join me in voting for Hannah. Thank you.
Are there any speeches against the nomination of Hannah Cameron for this position? Any speeches against the nomination? Any speeches against the nomination? Okay, seeing no hands raised, we'll move to debate on the motion to nominate Julie Whitaker for this position. Nick, since you made the motion, the floor is yours.
Thank you. I was very happy to nominate Julie Whitaker for this position. Julie has been our treasurer for the past two terms and worked with leadership during the budget process, reporting out, asking, and answering questions during the process. Julie, she's won several, she has won an award, the 34th Annual Award for her role on the executive board. Her integrity is unquestionable, and her dedication and her hard work to the LD is unwavering. Long hours working outside of her job, long hours working on the budget. What she has done for her other elected position, and as a tireless PCO in her precinct, she'll bring to the 34th alternate female rep for KCDC these qualities. I hope you consider her for this position, as she is a hard-working Democrat in the 34th LD. Thank you.
Thank you, Nick. Are there any speeches against the motion? Any speeches against the motion? Are there any speeches against the motion? Seeing no additional hands raised, that will conclude debate. Since we have 2 candidates nominated, we'll do this one by poll. So Tally Committee, if you could go ahead and launch that.
And then understanding the tricky situation here, since Hannah's counting votes, I will be a third-party observer, and I think Hannah's going to invite Julie in to observe the vote counting as well.
Excuse me, what?
Oh, Julie, because I'm the person who tabulates all the votes, I just don't want, I mean, I know that I will behave ethically, but I just don't want any appearance of anything untoward.
Okay.
So
Well, this is
we're,
the first I've heard of this.
oh, well, I've been the vote verifier
No, I
person.
didn't get it. This is the first time I've heard of this. So what are we doing?
Oh, I'm explaining that. So because I'm the person who runs the process in the background, I've asked RAM to be a neutral third party observer. And my understanding is that Jordan is going to put you and me and Graham in a breakout room so that you can also observe everything, so that we can make sure that everything gets counted correctly.
And so how do I get in a breakout room?
So as host of the meeting, Jordan is going to be putting up a breakout room once the vote is completed, is my understanding.
I'll create the breakout room. I think. Or Carla, are you the only one that can create the breakout room? I think only the host can.
Yeah. So we're adding, sorry, Carla, Graham, Hannah,
Julie.
and
Yes, please. Thank you.
Are you doing it now, Jordan? Because I have it up as well.
yeah, I got it. I just opened the room, so the four of you should see an invitation to go.
Hey, Jordan, quick question. Are we also electing a male non-binary person alternate as well? So do we have one more KCDC vote?
Yes.
Or is the alternate only one person? Okay, thank you.
While we have a little bit of a break in the action, as Carla mentioned earlier, we do have a pretty packed agenda. So if anyone has anything for good of the order, you can go ahead and share it now if you'd like.
I also have a question. Oh, I'm sorry,
Yes.
Colton. I'll raise my hand. So you go first.
No. Sorry. No. It's all good. Jordan, is now a good time, or I'm happy to wait till the end as well?
Yeah, no, it's fine. You're good.
Okay, perfect. Well, while people are tabulating votes, I recognize we have got a packed agenda, so I really appreciate the flexibility in being able to speak tonight and have a few minutes of your time. I unfortunately was not able to be verified in time to participate in Sunday's candidate forum, so I just wanted to take a few moments to formally introduce myself. My name is Colton Myers. I recognize I may not be the most conventional or well-known name or face in this room, so I hope to share a little bit about myself, my motivations as a public servant, and why I'm ultimately humbly seeking to earn your support to be chosen for appointment as your next state representative here in the 34th LD. I'm a lifelong Washingtonian, the son of a third-generation lineman, proud member of the IBEW Local 77 for over 35 years, and a mother who currently works at the Kitsap Naval Shipyard, and who during our parents' first legal separation worked 3 jobs to keep an apartment over mine and my siblings' heads. I was inspired to pursue public service at a consequential moment in time, 2016. But it wasn't the presidential election which motivated me. It was the Pulse nightclub shooting in Orlando, Florida, where I decided as a queer person that I no longer wanted to be a spectator to injustice, but become an active agent for change. That motivation led me back to school, where I completed my master's in public policy from the Evans School at the University of Washington. And during that time, I served as a congressional intern for Congressman Adam Smith and as a consultant working to develop a strategic response plan to the opioid epidemic in Mason County. I spent the last 5 years working for the state of Washington, working closely alongside the legislature and legislative staff. First as a senior health policy analyst, and then as a legislative and policy analyst, where I spent the last several sessions working within the system firsthand, drafting agency request legislation, writing budget provisos, analyzing complex budgets and legislation, and implementing legislation. In 2020, I decided to challenge a 3-term Republican incumbent in a rural legislative district that I grew up in during a global pandemic. And while I came up short, I ran a competitive campaign in a tough environment and ultimately learned the importance of listening and having tough conversations with our neighbors of all backgrounds, building community in times of crises, and the importance of continuing to stand up and fight in the face of setbacks for progressive values and working families in all parts of our state, particularly in the areas where we as Democrats have lost the messaging battle. I was proud to have built a broad coalition of support from elected leaders at all levels, local, state, and congressional, to labor and organizational support, from the Washington State Labor Council to Planned Parenthood to the LGBTQ Victory Fund. Being an effective legislator requires coalition building, and it was through this experience that I earned the trust and support of valuable partners and would be able to leverage those experiences to be effective on day one. We're at another consequential moment in our state and nation, but I'm not seeking this appointment to be somebody. I am seeking this appointment to do something for our community, especially with those burdened by rising costs. Nearly 40% of our neighbors are renters, myself included, and I feel the pressure of the affordability crises every day. My partner and I spend over $3,000 a month to live in our West Seattle apartment, and we just received notice of an 8% increase on the way. With the affordability crisis, too few of our legislators have the same lived experience as myself and many others. As representative, I will fight to control egregious hikes on rent and pursue affordable housing options for this community. With an impending budget shortfall of approximately $12 billion and a tax code which ranks as the most regressive in our nation, we need to ensure that our budget reflects our values as Washingtonians. And that is why I will advocate for a progressive tax code that puts working families first and finally holds the wealthiest accountable and ensures they are paying their fair share. And if I may, on a personal note, we have a critical opportunity to select a candidate who not just reflects our values, but is representative of our community. There are currently 0 queer identifying men in the state house right now, despite 1 in 5 adults in the Seattle metro area identifying as LGBTQ. At a time when our fundamental rights are challenged in the courts and legislatures across this nation, with the state of Idaho just yesterday introducing a resolution to ban gay marriage, when Meta is rolling back anti-LGBTQ policies, and when the transgender community is being demonized and used as political attack ads to stoke fear and division, we need a legislature that not just looks like our communities, but has leaders who can bring those lived experiences to the table and enact policies that will safeguard our livelihoods. I want to be a voice for our community and part of the decision making instead of policies continuing to be made in our absence. And lastly, I just wanted to close on this. I appreciate your time. The state legislature is our voice. It is the mechanism by which we determine what our values are and what kind of state we are and want to be. I am not a career politician, and I did not take the most conventional path to get here. But I have a deep desire and commitment to rise to this moment and fight for our shared ideals and values, and I believe I bring the unique lived and professional experience needed to be an effective legislator on day one. If given this opportunity to represent you as the only queer identifying male in the state house, I will not take your faith in me for granted. I will get up each and every day with great humility and an even greater passion and conviction to ensure that Washington State remains an inclusive and progressive model for this nation. I'm humbly seeking to earn your support to be your voice. I'm happy to connect with any of you further. I'll put my email, my phone number in the chat, and I look forward to connect with as many of you over the next 11 days. I know this is a really rapid process, so I appreciate the time to speak with you today, and thank you so much for hearing me out.
Thanks, Colton. Lisa, your hand's raised. Go ahead.
Yes, so I just wanted to let people know that the Seattle City Club is doing its 2025 legislative preview on Friday. I will put a link to it in the chat. It is from 10 to 2. And it is at the Collective down in South Lake Union, and the fee to attend is a sliding scale. So it'll be, I think there's 4 legislators who will be talking about the priorities for this year.
Russell, your hand's up. Go ahead.
Yep, thank you. I just wanted to tell everyone I'm doing a Project 2025 Damage Control event with State Party as well as the high school Dems, January 20th at IAM's Union Hall down in South Park. It's the poster's up on the Instagram, and the Instagram's up and running. I'll post up a link to that. Thank you.
Anyone else got anything? Chris Porter, you got any jokes?
There's nothing to joke about. It's a very serious night. We have lots to do. Now, come on.
I guess I will over here.
We'll come back to the Conservation District later, I suppose.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So I could wave my hands. Apparently raising it doesn't work.
What's going on, Ann?
All I was going to say earlier was that I really appreciated the fact that people volunteered to run for leadership in the 34th district, and it's inspirational that people are stepping up and working hard. So I think we need inspiration. Over the next 4 years, it's going to be tough, but thank you to everybody who agreed to run for an office. Thank you.
I'll run through some announcements I was planning to share at the end, just since we have the time. So in addition to the legislative preview that Lisa mentioned, on Monday, January 13th, the local transit operators union, ATU 587, is holding a public memorial from 11 to 1 in honor of Sean Yim, who's the driver who was tragically murdered while working up in the U District last month. The memorial is being held in our district at WAMU Theater near Lumen Field. I will be there, and I hope many of you will join me. We also there's a reception for Port Commission President now, Toshiko Hasegawa, on next Tuesday, the 14th. The Port of Seattle is doing a ceremonial passing of the gavel on Pier 69 at 11 a.m. Commissioner Hasegawa is the first Asian American woman to lead the port in its over 110-year history. And while Pier 69 is not in our district, just outside of it, the Port of Seattle and our commissioners are absolutely essential to our community's vitality. So I'll be attending that event as well. And I hope to see some solid 34th Dems representation. We also have our January executive board meeting is next Wednesday. So busy week next week. That'll be at 7 p.m. It's open to members to attend. But if you're not on the executive board, you can't participate, but you're still welcome to watch. We'll have some of us, or we'll have a Zoom link available over the course of the next week, so I'll make that available if you'd like it. I will have access to the chair email soon, so you can just send your request to chair@34dems.org. Graham, what's up?
Yeah, we have the results.
Okay.
Although I did not write them down, but I believe it was 85% for Hannah Cameron to 15% for Julie Whitaker.
Okay, is everyone back from the breakout room? I have Carla and Hannah and Julie all back. I don't see them in our participants list. Maybe if I just close the breakout rooms, they'll be forced to come back.
That's how it works with all the other Zoom calls.
All right. Oh, I was going to wait till she got back to say congratulations, but I guess I'll just congratulate her now. So I will now hear motions in favor of candidates for the position of male or non-binary county committee alternate. Roxanne, you have your hand raised.
Yes, I'd like to nominate Preston Anderson.
Thank you. Is there a second? Hannah, I see your hands raised.
I'd like to second that motion.
Okay, are there any more motions in favor of candidates for the position of male or non-binary county committee alternate?
Oh, wait, I just remembered. I can't second. I'm not a PCO. I'm just so excited for Preston.
Is there a second? Is there a second? Rachel, your hand's up. You're on mute.
Sorry, I will second for Preston.
Okay, thank you, Rachel. Are there any more motions in favor of candidates for the position of male or non-binary county committee alternate? Are there any more motions in favor of candidates for the position of male or non-binary county committee alternate? Hearing none, Preston, you're the candidate. The time is yours.
Thank you for the nomination, and everyone, thank you for your support. I'll just provide a background on who I am. I think a lot of folks here know who I am, but I see some faces that I'm not familiar with. Originally from Tacoma, been a resident of Seattle for over 13 years now. I ran for city council back in 2023, and during that time, I got to knock on over 9,000 doors and had pretty insightful conversations with our neighbors here in the 34th district. I think another critical piece that I would bring to this role is my background as a clinical social worker. I've been doing clinical social work for over, 13 years now. I work for the VA hospital, but I've worked kind of the spectrum of clinical social work, mostly though in homeless, providing homeless care for homeless veterans, but I've also worked in inpatient psychiatric care. Then also have worked extensively with individuals suffering from mental illness or substance use disorder. So I bring that to the table. So I think that background just kind of broadens perspective. In addition to that, I'm also a veteran myself. I served 6 years in the Army, deployed twice in the combat role. And I think that background kind of provides depth to any conversation I bring to the organization. I've served in this role before, back in 2022-3, and I'm looking forward to serving in this role again. And thank you so much for your support.
Okay, thank you, Preston. Since there were no more nominations, we will move into debate on the motion. Roxanne, since you made the motion, the floor is yours if you would like it.
Yes, I nominated Preston Anderson in addition to everything he said about himself because of his integrity and passion for issues of social justice and his work both on education and his work against the tragedy that's happening in Gaza. His work is very impressive. Also, his progressive voice is essential at this time, and I encourage him to continue to make loud noise in the Democratic Party for progressive change, as he has done in the past, as both in this position and as the Seattle City Council candidate. So I'm very happy to nominate Preston Anderson, and I hope you'll all join me in celebrating. Thank you.
Are there any speeches against the nomination? Any speeches against the nomination? Are there any speeches against the nomination? Okay, seeing none, we will conclude debate. And since there were no other nominations, we'll go back to how we're handling this before. So is there any objection to the election of Preston Anderson as male or non-binary county committee alternate? Any objections to the motion? Are there any objections to the motion? Seeing none, Preston, congratulations. You're elected our King County Committee alternate.
Thank you, everyone.
I'll move on to election of our treasurer. This will be the first of the officer elections that is open to all eligible voting members, not just PCOs. I will now hear motions in favor of candidates for the position of treasurer.
I'm raising my hand, Jordan, sorry. I'd like to nominate Rebecca Riga.
Thank you. Is there a second? Is there a second for the motion?
Sorry, that's
Rachel,
me.
I see your hand.
I second. This is for treasurer, right?
Yes.
I second the motion for Rebecca.
Thank you. Are there any more nominations in favor of candidates for the position of treasurer? Any more nominations for candidates for the position of treasurer? Are there any more motions in favor of candidates for the position of treasurer? Seeing no hands raised, we will close nominations. Rebecca, since you are the candidate, the time's yours.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody, and thank you for the nomination and support. I'll be quick. I am super excited to throw my name in the ring for this, and thank you to Carla and Graham for the nomination. I'm really passionate about what we do here in the 34th. I've been a proud member since I moved to Seattle 3 years ago. And this feels like a role where I can lend the skill sets that I have honed in my day life and professional career to the benefit of the 34th, maybe, hopefully. In my day job, I work as a campaign manager, and that has made me familiar with NGP, the software we would be using here. And before that, my job was as a grants manager, managing multi-million-dollar federal grants. So I know a thing or two about compliance and how we are only as good as the money and strength of the organization we have to spend and invest in the important work that we do here. Also, admittedly, this sounds like a very nerdy job, and I kind of like that. I'm a big nerd myself. So I'd be excited to throw myself into this. I promise you strong organizational skills, thoroughness, and always being compliant. And I'd be honored to have your vote tonight. Thanks.
Thank you. Spacing on, it was Carla. Carla, since you made the motion, I will move into debate, and the floor is yours.
Great, thank you. I'm going to make this really quick because it's getting late. Rebecca's been an awesome addition to our 34th board, and she's actually become a friend of mine, which is, I'm delighted to have her be interested in the treasurer role. It's such a critical thing. That's, you know, it's nerdy. It's you know, it's administrative, but you know, if we don't do a good job at this, we can be sued. We can have, you know, Glenn Morgan, our wonderful Republican troll, come after us for not, you know, doing things correctly. So it's super critical. And I 100% trust Rebecca and her ability to keep us in compliance and communicating about what's going on with our money. And she's got such a bright future, and we would be really lucky to have her time and energy in the next term. So I hope everyone will join me in saying yes to Rebecca.
Thank you, Carla. Are there any speeches against the motion? Any speeches against the motion? Are there any speeches against the motion? Seeing none, we'll handle this in the same way. Is there any objection to the election of Rebecca to be our new treasurer? Is there any objection to the motion? Any objection to the motion? Okay, seeing none. Congrats, Rebecca. You're our new treasurer. We'll now move on to our final officer election, which is election to the position of secretary. We'll now hear motions in favor of candidates for the position of secretary. Nick, I see your hands raised.
Yes, I'd be proud to nominate Steve Butts for secretary of the 34th.
And Rachel, your hands raised.
I second the nomination for Steve Butts as secretary.
Thank you. Are there any more motions in favor of candidates for the position of secretary? Any more motions in favor of candidates for the position of secretary? Are there any more motions in favor of candidates for the position of secretary? Okay, seeing none, we will close nominations. And Steve, being the candidate, the floor is yours.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm starting my 19th year as a member in a PCO in the 34th, and along the way, I chaired and co-chaired the outreach committee with by myself, and also sharing the role with Karen Richter for a number of years. So after that, I did that for like 14 years. And I was also the male KCDCC representative back about 8 years ago. And someplace along the line, I picked up the role of editing the legacy newsletter, and I had been, as a matter of routine for doing that job, I was recording the activities of the meetings and that sort of thing. And then the last term, the last reorg, we needed a secretary, and Carl Rogers had asked me, if I'd be interested in that, and I said sure. If nobody else wanted it, I'll take it. So yeah, I'm running now for my second term. I enjoy it, and it works out well with the newsletter and stuff. And I also do the graphics for the walking pieces that we do for each election. Yeah. So anyway, so that's me. Anyway, so thanks for your support.
Thank you, Steve. Since there were no other nominations, we'll move into debate on the motion to elect Steve. Nick, since you made the motion, the floor is yours.
Yes, I don't, Steve hardly needs an introduction to the 34th Democratic PCOs, a longtime PCO who's worn many hats for us in the 34th. Many times I've asked him, sometimes reading the newsletter about a meeting that one of our meetings, the 34th that we had. I said, Steve, how did you do that? How did you get that? His reports both are so accurate. The leave behinds that our PCOs do, their sample ballots, are fantastic. And the newsletter, he gets better every year as far as newsletter goes. What do you say about Steve Butts? He's 19 years in our organization, many hats, won many awards, and we want him to continue. Thank you.
Are there any speeches against the motion? Are there any speeches against the motion? Are there any speeches against the motion? Seeing no hands raised, we'll close debate and handle this in the fast way. Is there any objection to the election of Steve Butts to be secretary? Any objection to the motion? Is there any objection to the motion? Seeing none. Congratulations, Steve, you're back. Moving right along, I will share my screen again. I just shared a few links in the chat, and they are for our meeting minutes from the month of November. This was distributed along with our meeting call. Like I said, links in the chat. Do I have a motion to adopt the minutes from the November membership meeting?
This is Hannah Cameron, and I move that we adopt those.
I second.
Second.
Okay, is there any objection to the motion? Any objection to the motion? Is there any objection to the motion? Hearing no objections, the motion's adopted. Moving on to budget reports. Julie, you have been our treasurer, so I will give the floor to you for this. Thank you.
So you want
just an overview of the budget reports from November and December.
November and December. All right. Okay. November beginning balance was $11,222.17. The ending balance was $10,113.59. December beginning balance was $10,113.59. We had an income of $5,491.71. Expenses of 4,105.61. Our ending balance, excuse me, for December was $11,399.69.
Thank you, Julie. Next order of business, like I said, packed agenda are endorsements for February elections. So for the special election on February 11th, voters in our district will have the opportunity to vote on a minimum wage initiative in the city of Burien, renewed levies to fund Seattle Public Schools, and funding for the Seattle Social Housing Developer. In the last term, our organization endorsed the campaign for getting the Burien Minimum Wage Initiative on the ballot, as well as the creation of the Seattle Social Housing Developer. Now that the minimum wage itself and the initiative to fund social housing, the social housing developer will be on the ballot, supporting them as an organization requires an additional action on our part. The previous executive board approved approved recommendations for each of these four measures. Recommending that we endorse these four measures. Increasing the Burien minimum wage to $20.29 without allowing for reductions for tipped workers, overriding the Burien City Council's adopted ordinance, which set a minimum wage of $18.28 for small businesses and $19.28 for large businesses, and allows for reductions in tipped workers. Renewing the Seattle Public Schools Educational Programs and Operations Levy to continue funding for program services and activities. Renewing the Seattle Public Schools Building Excellence 6 capital levy to continue funding for safety and security upgrades, renovations, repairs and improvements, and classroom technology, as well as the adoption of a 5% marginal tax on employers for compensation to employees in excess of $1 million in a year, which would be dedicated to funding Seattle Social Housing, the Seattle Social Housing Developer, for the production of social housing. Before we get into things, I'll take some time to refresh folks on our procedures. Because the policy measures before us today each received the board's recommendation to adopt, we will begin with the set of them as a block. If a voting member opposes the inclusion of any one of these measures within the block, they may request its removal, and it will be removed without debate. If any measures remain in the block and a motion to endorse the block is brought before the body, endorsing the block requires the support of a simple majority of voting members present and voting. Many measures removed from the block require the bringing of individual motions before the body to be considered for endorsement. And for those where motions are brought before the body, endorsement will require the support of at least 60% of the voting members present and voting. Each vote will be preceded by the stating of and debate on the question. Debate will begin with the person making the motion speaking in its favor in the same way that we did our officer elections. However, they may cede all or any part of their time to another voting member or representative of campaign supporting the measure. If a person speaks in favor of the motion, I will ask if there's anyone to speak against in the same way we did with officer elections. If a person speaks against the motion, I will ask for another speaker in favor with priority given to the person seconding the motion. However, if there is no speaker against the motion, that ends debate. If a second speaker speaks in favor of the motion, once they are finished, I will ask for another speaker against. However, if there is no second speaker in favor of the motion, that also ends debate. If a second person speaks against the motion, that ends debate. Debate is ended. We do no further debate beyond that point. Once debate has concluded, I will put the question to a vote, and voting members may vote through the electronic ballot on Zoom. Once voting closes, our tally committee will certify the vote in the same way we did with officer elections, and give me word once certification is finished. And once I get that notice, I'll recognize a representative from the tally committee to report out the results. While votes are certified, we will move forward with motions and debate on further endorsements as necessary until we've arrived at a decision for all of the measures. Once we get through considering endorsements for policy measures, we will also consider endorsement for King Conservation District Position 2. While this position's district is much larger than our LD and mostly outside of our jurisdiction, we're able to endorse candidates seeking this position because it shares White Center and North Burien with our legislative district. After the policy measures, we will briefly discuss what exactly King Conservation District is, how you can vote in the election, and why it is important that we pay attention to the election of those seeking to serve there. And we will also hear motions in favor of endorsing persons seeking that position. Anne, I see your hands raised.
Yes, I wanted to ask if I need to move the block vote.
Before we get to motions, I'd like to ask if there's any eligible voting member who would remove any of the measures being considered from the board block. Anyone want to remove a measure from the board block? Is there anyone who'd like to remove a measure from the board block? Chris, I see your hands raised.
Kidding.
Okay. Okay, so is there a motion to endorse the block measures as recommended by the board?
I will
Bonnie,
make
see
that motion that
Thank
we
you, Bonnie.
endorse the block vote.
I will second that.
Okay. Bonnie, since you made the motion, you can open up debate if you would like.
Our endorsement committee met and reviewed all of these, and every single one of them is absolutely in line with the values that we espouse as Democrats. In addition, we have supported especially the Seattle Public School levies in the past. These are renewals of levies that we have supported consistently. This is not new tax money. This is simply renewing to keep things from getting worse, to keep the budget problems for Seattle Public Schools and buildings and everything from getting worse. We have also supported the Seattle social housing when it came before us with the understanding that there would be a funding proposal to follow. And this is it. And we're supporting the funding of the social housing that we voted to support as an LD in the past.
Is there any speech against the motion? Any speech against the motion? Is there any speech against the motion? Seeing no hands raised, we can try to do this the fast way. Is there any objection to adopting or to endorsing the board block as it has been recommended by the board? Any objection to the motion? Is there any objection to the motion? Seeing none, we will consider the board block endorsed unanimously. As previously mentioned, before we get into endorsement considerations for King Conservation District Position 2, it's important that we discuss the position and its importance to our legislative district. So for that, I will hand things off to our local expert, our county committee representative, Chris Porter.
Thank you, Jordan. The King Conservation District has been around, conservation has been around in Washington State for over 80 years. King Conservation District has gone through some interesting changes where elections on this particular position concerning conservation in King County were very hidden. You had to go to a located, identified library at a certain time frame and submit your ballot. Then that changed to requesting a ballot, which was that you'd send a letter in saying, I'd like a ballot to vote on this, and then they'd mail it back to you, and then you'd mail it back to them. All in all, less than 1% of King County voters ever participate in this election, and it's a countywide election. So when I joined the Conservation District, a lot of the work was how can we rework these elections in such a way that really engages voters, because each plot of land owned by a registered voter in King County or a business pays, I think it's $18 each year, that are the funds used to keep the conservation district going and the work that they do. So it's always been my work when I was on that board as an associate and as an elected supervisor to try to get more voters engaged. This culminates in a process now in which the district is broken up. The seats are the 3 elected seats. There are 3 elected seats and 2 appointed seats. The 3 elected seats are broken into 3 zones. And West Seattle is included in zone 2. The seat that's up is in zone 3, I believe it, or maybe I have the numbers reversed. And as our chair alluded to earlier, there is a portion of Burien and White Center that fall under our jurisdiction, so we can certainly, and we should endorse the candidate seeking to fill that position. It is vital that we have more and more diverse voices in conservation, and that we raise everyone's attention around it. I think as each season goes on, we see the impact that climate change is having. I constantly talk about the impact of the falling numbers of pollinators and how we simply cannot live without them. Well, the Conservation District runs programs to try to mitigate some of those losses by encouraging people to, for instance, plant native plants that attract birds, bees, butterflies, and bugs that help mitigate that loss. So everyone can participate not only through their vote, but also through their actions and the impact that it will have. So that's the Conservation District in the nutshell. And probably one of their biggest things is their annual Bare Roots sale, which in fact, beginning next month, you can begin purchasing your native plants, bushes, trees, and plant those in the start of your garden or your yard. Where I live, we transformed our property into a habitat. So it's a safe place for birds, bees, and butterflies. And as a beekeeper, that means everything to me as well. So those are some of the things to look forward. Those are what that $18 to $19 per plot of land that is owned by a registered voter or a business in King County pays for. So I hope that we can see voter participation increase now that these positions are broken up into the 3 elected positions that they are. And unfortunately, we didn't get them on the February ballot. We were very close. So the process will still remain that you receive a postcard that has a QR code. You use that QR code, or you go to and I'll put it in the chat, the King Conservation District site. You sign in through King County Elections, execute your ballot. They then tabulate the ballots and tell us who the winner is. But in this particular case, there's only one candidate so far, but that is that process that is currently being used. And we hope to, in the future, get this race on the ballot. Now, the RCW stipulates that these elections have to happen between January 1st and March 31st. So it will always be in this winter time unless the RCW changes and the Conservation Commission changes as well. But that's where we stand with the Conservation District.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Now that we know why we're even considering endorsements in the first place, I will now hear motions in favor of candidates seeking the King Conservation District position 2. Is there any motions for in favor of candidates seeking the King Conservation District position 2? Are there any motions in favor of candidates seeking King Conservation District position 2?
Did this person not ask anyone to nominate them? Oh my goodness. Okay, I'd like to nominate the person, except that I don't really know that much about them. Because I wasn't asked to.
Is their name up here? It's just blocked by that black box, or?
No, it's not up there, but its name is Zachary Pratt. Is there a
Okay.
second for the motion?
I'll second it.
You made the motion, didn't you, Chris?
Yes,
I will
I'll make the motion. Yes.
I will second it.
And last name is spelled how?
P-R-A-T-T.
T, okay, thank you.
If nothing else, we need to make sure this gets some exposure.
Okay, Chris, would you like to speak in support of the motion?
Yes. So Zachary Pratt lives within the position to designated area for the King Conservation District election. He's running as an advocate in a responsible stewardship, transparent government, and community-driven conservation initiatives throughout Southeast King County. He has extensive experience in public service, administrative roles, and community engagement, and is prepared to uphold the standards of a responsible and accountable district government. We were really happy when he stepped forward, because when this position was announced, there were no candidates that lived in those areas that was willing to step up. So I think he's a fresh new voice. We should continue to move the conservation district into a more inclusive and diverse voices that, for instance, go beyond farming. Farming is always highly protected and highly regarded in conservation, but there are many more aspects to conservation than just that, and he certainly brings that perspective to it. For instance, as a docent to the Black Diamond Historical Society, as an example, he's won various awards. So let's move forward and endorse and support Zachary Pratt.
Thank you, Chris. Are there any speeches against the endorsement of Zachary Pratt for King Conservation District Position 2? Any speeches against the motion? Are there any speeches against the motion? Seeing none, we'll try to do this one the fast way as well. Is there any objection to the endorsement of Zachary Pratt for King Conservation District Position 2? Any objection to the motion to endorse Zachary Pratt for King Conservation District Position 2? Is there any objection to the endorsement of Zachary Pratt for King Conservation District Position 2? Seeing none, we will consider Zachary endorsed unanimously. Moving right along.
And Jordan, real quick, I
Yes.
want to remind people, particularly for those who live in Burien and some of the residents of White Center, that they can vote in this race from January 21st to February 11th. They will most likely receive that postcard from the Conservation District alerting them to the election, and it will be, as I had identified, to use QR code, where you go to the Conservation District website, and I'll put it in the chat, to initiate your ballot. So that is from January 21st until February 11th.
Thank you, Chris. With that, we've officially completed our first endorsements 2025.
I have a quick question, Jordan.
Yes, Rachel.
My question is Zachary here with us tonight? Do we get to hear a speech or
I
any?
did not see him on the participants list. I'll reach out to him after the meeting.
That would be great. I'd love to find out about him and all of his work and accomplishments.
And I just posted in that link, and you can see his candidate statement on the KCD website as well.
Thanks, Chris.
And clarify, Chris, there will only be the people in White Center and North Burien in our district who will be voting for him.
Actually, in the zone map, all of Burien is included.
Yes, well, outside,
Oh, but
within our
I mean,
district.
Yeah, within our district. Yes, I'm with you. Yes, that's
Okay.
correct. Yes.
Thanks.
Yes.
All right. So in addition to those endorsements, one of our goals for this term was to start the year with a full executive board. And thanks to the incredibly dedicated folks we have who volunteered to lead our standing committees, we will actually do that with the membership's vote to confirm my appointments. So allowing this will allow our leadership team to get right into the important work that we need to accomplish in this term. For the 2025-2026 term, I have appointed Rachel Glass to Programs and Community Partnerships, a committee she has led for at least the last 4 years, if not 6 years. Carla Rogers to Communications and Technology, again, something she's led for the last 6 years. Rebecca Rego to Precinct Leadership, which will be a new role for her, taking over from Nick Bonazza. Lisa Dawson to Fundraising and Events. Phil Tavel to Outreach and Visibility. And Jay Seeley to Membership and Hospitality. Also, and the box might be blocking off Ann Martin on the bottom of the list to Resolutions and Endorsements. Per our bylaws, these appointments are not official until we get a simple majority of the membership voting to confirm them. So do I have a motion to confirm these appointments of standing committee chairs?
So
I
moved.
make
This is
I
Chris.
make the motion.
Chris, I heard you make the motion. Do I have a second? And I see your hands raised.
I will second.
Thank you. Is there any objection to the motion? Any objection to the motion? Is there any objection to the motion? Okay, hearing no objection, the motion is adopted, and all of you are now officially our committee chairs, and we have a full executive board. So thank you all for volunteering. It's going to be an exciting year. We're lucky to have you all on board, truly. Moving quickly, trying to move quickly. Next order of business. Another goal of mine was to start the year off by filling some precinct leadership vacancies. For those who are not aware, our legislative district includes 223 precincts, mostly in Seattle. And we closed the 2023-2024 PCO term with 101 precinct leaders. Because some of our appointed PCOs and precinct coordinators didn't seek election to their position, we had a net loss of 16 precinct leaders at the transition of the term on December 1st. So by appointing some folks today, we will gain, we were planning for 11, but I think we only have 9 present. But we'll be adding 9 and bringing that 85 number up to 94. We've set a high bar for ourselves in terms of precinct leader recruitment for this year, and these appointments will get us off to a great start.
Can you get rid of that black box that blocked Ann and looks like it's blocking another precinct committee person's name?
I can try. There we go. Is it gone now?
No. Oh, there. Okay.
Gone.
There's little boxes around, and then up at the top, there's a strip and still blocked.
So weird. I don't see anything on my screen except for my slide. All right. So to get us moving on these appointments, for those who are present today, I'll hand things over to our new precinct leadership chair, Rebecca.
Hello again, everyone. I'm excited for this to be my first act, though really kudos goes to Jordan for reaching out to folks to make tonight possible. And I know I have very big shoes to fill of one Nick Bonanza, and thank you, Nick, for all the guidance so far. And with that, I will read the script that Nick has generously prepared for me. Tonight, I have the honor of presenting prospective PCOs for the appointment to be PCO. Please turn on your video and sound when I call your name and offer, if you're willing, a few words about yourself and why you would like to become a PCO. And we'll go in alpha order by first name as Jordan has laid out. Thank you, Jordan. And first up is Byron.
Byron's actually not able to make the meeting tonight, so hopefully we can get him sworn in on the next meeting.
We certainly can. Note taken. Thank you, Adam. All right, Colton.
Hey everyone. So you may have heard from me a little bit earlier before, but my name is Colton Myers, and I sought out to be appointed to this position because my partner and I just finally took the step to move in together, and there was a vacancy in our precinct, which was wonderful news to my ears. I've served as a PCO before in the district that I grew up in Kitsap County. So I'm familiar with the role and responsibilities of the PCO, and I'm excited to serve further.
Fantastic. Thank you, Colton. Connor?
Hey everyone, hopefully you can hear me. My name is Connor Duggan. I've lived out in Alki for about 3 years now. Have been an active member of the Democratic Party around this state and around the country. Have worked in or around government in the private sector and for our state government here for over a decade, and then learned about this opportunity to get more involved in the 34th through Adam Day, who is a former and current colleague of mine, and also out in Vashon. So I'm just excited to get more involved here at the 34th and excited to hopefully become a PCO here.
Great. Thanks, Connor. Jacqueline?
Hi everyone, my name is Jackie Mena and I am going to be the PCO for Ham Creek. I said it this time, Nick. I got started last year for the first time and I was able to do some door knocking in my neighborhood and it was really lovely. I loved getting to know people and I'm excited to continue that work. I want to thank Nick for onboarding me and really just putting in the time to help me get comfortable in the role. Maria, Rachel, Jordan, I feel like all of you help connect me to this work. And so just really happy to be here and excited to continue.
Thanks, Jackie. My handy dandy list went away, but I think it's Maria who's next.
Or Lisa.
Or Lisa. That would be alphabetical order, wouldn't it? Lisa, go for it.
Lisa Dawson. I thought I filed, but apparently I didn't. So I was appointed back in May and had the best time as the PCO for 34-15-26. I'm a third generation Seattleite, longtime Democrat going back many generations. And I'm so happy to have joined this organization. And I look forward to continuing to serve the kind of Fauntleroy, upper Fauntleroy area.
Thanks, Lisa. Maren?
Hi, everyone. Most of you probably know me from the City Council race 2023, where I, like Preston, knocked on thousands and thousands of doors. And so this is my way of just being able to at least knock on a few doors because I really loved it. I think it's super important. I think the PCO structure is almost underutilized. It's such a great way to reach voters one-on-one at more times than just when that candidate has to show up at their doorstep. And it builds community. And I think community is one of the most important things we can be doing right now for a whole bunch of reasons. So thanks.
Awesome. Thanks, Maren. Maria?
Hi everyone, my name is Maria. I am from White Center, and this is actually the very first time I'm ever involved with the Democratic Party. I wanted to contribute more to my community and help in whatever way I can, because similar to Colton, I did not want to be on the sideline and I wanted to participate. And I am extremely looking forward to learn more about being a PCO and helping the community and being involved. And I'm just really, really excited and happy and grateful. Thank you all.
Thank you, Maria. Michelle?
Hi, everyone. I live out on Vashon and am really involved in the community out here, particularly in the agriculture part of the island. And so very excited to represent my community and appreciate being pulled in and being able to serve like this. Thank you.
Thanks, Michelle. Phil, are you here? Maybe under a phone number? I think not. Okay. Preston.
Hello, everyone. Yes, I'm excited to be a PCO again, serving in my precinct. I think it's naturally the social worker in me that enjoys talk with people and listening to their concerns. So I'm looking forward to that. So looking forward to be appointed as PCO. Thank you.
Thanks, Preston. And Sophia.
Hi, everyone. I'm Sophia Aragon, and I've served as PCO for my precinct for the most of the 10 years I've lived here. And like Lisa, I thought I filed. So I really thank Jordan for reaching out and asking me if I would serve this area again. So I would be happy to. Also want to thank Nick for reaching out all these years to get myself and other PCOs in action. So the one thing I've always consistently liked about this process, and I have been an elected official on the Burien City Council, is the door-to-door part. So I would be happy to serve in this role again. Thank you so much for your consideration.
Thanks, Sophia. At this point, I will read the Democratic PCO oath. At the end, I will ask for everyone who has been appointed tonight or prospectively being appointed to say yes to being a Democrat. Hold on one second. The oath is, I am willing to serve as a Democratic Precinct Committee Officer or Acting Precinct Coordinator until November 30th, 2026. I understand that it is my responsibility to know the boundaries of my precinct and be familiar with its residents and registered voters. I understand that my duties also include providing voters with campaign materials for endorsed candidates prior to the primary and general elections, get out the vote activities, and new voter registration. When I read off your name before the motion to appoint, please answer, are you a Democrat? Yes, if you are, and just come off mute to do so. First, Colton.
Yes.
Connor.
Yes.
Jackie.
Yes.
Lisa.
Yes.
Marin.
Yes.
Maria.
Yes.
Michelle.
Yes.
Preston.
Yes.
And Sophia.
Yes.
Thank you all. And at this point, Jordan, I hand it over to you. May I have a motion to appoint these 9, I believe, individuals?
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Michelle first and second. Thank you. Jordan, onto a voice vote, I believe.
Yes, I guess we can do it kind of the slightly quick way. Is there any objection to the motion as stated? Any objection to the motion as stated? Is there any objection to the motion? Seeing none, all of these PCOs are now considered appointed. We will work with the county to get your appointments confirmed. Thank you all, and thank you, Rebecca.
Thanks all.
Excuse me, who was the second on that?
And
we had
Ann, okay.
And I was, sorry.
It figures. Thank you.
So that we're through all the votes and everything for this evening. I'll continue with the announcements that I had started on earlier. Just a reminder of what we had covered. There's a 2025 legislative preview coming up. That'll be Friday, January 10th, hosted by Seattle City Club. I believe Lisa said she shared a link in the chat. There's the memorial for Sean Yim on Monday, January 13th. That will be at the WAMU Theater near Lumen Field from 11 to 1. And then on Tuesday, the 14th, there's the ceremonial passing of the gavel to our new Port Commission President, Toshiko Hasegawa. That will be at Pier 69 at 11 a.m. I plan on being at all of these things. We also have our January board meeting on Wednesday, the 15th at 7 p.m. These meetings are open to all members, so if you'd like to join in and listen, please email the request to chair@34dems.org. I'll make sure you get the Zoom link. We also have a January pop-up social that is scheduled for Friday, January 31st at Beverage Place down near the Morgan Junction. That'll start at 5:30. For those who've never attended a pop-up social, these are an informal monthly opportunity for members to gather out in the community. Carla and I started them back on the tail end of the pandemic to try to get people back in the habit of spending time together in person and actually getting to know each other apart from what we look like on a Zoom call. So please join us at Beverage Place. Again, that's January 31st. I look forward to seeing you all there. On Saturday, February 1st, from 11 a.m. to 2:30, the Washington State Black Legacy Institute is holding a ribbon cutting and an art exhibit at the old Sanctuary at Admiral. For those of you who don't know where that is, it's very, very close to the Admiral Safeway or Hiawatha Community Center. They're doing that along with their partner organizations. WSBLI purchased the building and plans to use it as a space to offer a variety of programming designed to serve as a hub for education and dialogue and inclusivity. It's over 3 weeks away, but I'd love to see you all come out and support this incredible institution. Election reminders again, we just did endorsements, so hopefully that was a good reminder, but I'd like to offer another reminder that we do have elections in February, both on and off ballots. So if you're in Seattle, you'll see school district levies and the social housing proposition on your ballot, and that is Proposition 1A that we just endorsed. If you are in Burien, you will see the minimum wage on your ballot. If you're in White Center or Burien, as Chris talked about in depth, you can go online to the King Conservation District website and cast your vote for your preferred candidate, starting at 8 a.m. on January 21st. We also have our February membership meeting, which will be Wednesday, February 19th at 6:30. This will also be a virtual meeting, and it'll be kicked off with what is surely to be a highly informative and soon to be scheduled pre-meeting program coordinated by Rachel Glass. The full agenda will get released for that meeting on Sunday, February 2nd. Before I close out with a message, I will yield the floor to our now outgoing chair, Graham, to share a few words.
Oh, okay. I did not prepare anything, but thank you. Thank you all. Well, Jordan, the ship is now yours. I'm handing over the keys. Good luck. Thank you to the incredible board who I had a pleasure to work with, and see many of you will be continuing in your roles. And thank you to the membership for the privilege of serving all of you. And I will continue to support and provide guidance as best I can as a member moving forward. But thanks to all of you, and look forward to seeing you at upcoming meetings.
Thanks, Graham. It's really because of your work and leadership over the last couple of years that we're in such a great position to focus on the future and grow our organization. I'm looking forward to continuing our work together between the two of us and having you involved however we can. Before we get into good of the order, I wanted to take this time again to thank you all for the support you've shown our organization. You are all the heart and soul of everything we do here. Absolutely nothing would get done if you all weren't so generous with your time and energy. As I mentioned in my candidate speech before, I grew up here in the 34th. I was part of a blended family. We bounced around Burien, White Center, and West Seattle. I went to both Alki and Lafayette Elementary, went to Denny, Madison, and Holy Family Middle School. I played youth baseball here, football, soccer, all over our district. My first job was at the Roxbury Safeway. I started my time in college at South Seattle. My family's owned and operated a childcare center in Delridge for almost 11 years now. I even met my wife, got married, and we're now raising our two incredible sons, all right here in the 34th. I have an undying commitment to the welfare of our community. I have to. You're all my neighbors, my friends, my mentors, and my family. Words cannot express how excited I am to get to work with all of you over the next 2 years, but I hope through my actions and leadership that you will all get to see that excitement firsthand. So thank you all for your support. We'll now move into good of the order. As I mentioned before, this is time for members and guests to make announcements about the work they're doing. If there's a community event or an update that you're aware of, feel free to share that out, or call attention to an issue about which you think we should be aware. I will stop sharing and I will look out for raised hands. Chris, I see yours is up, so if you want to kick us off, go ahead.
Yes, thank you, Jordan. As many of you know, I'm a beekeeper, and PBS Cascade has a program called Out and Back, and it's highlighting how people of color are going back and taking outdoor space, having been underrepresented or absent from those outdoor spaces. So they're highlighting my work as or my love and passion as a beekeeper. And on February 1st at Washington Hall, a number of the folks who appeared in their program will be speaking and talking about their experiences. And I will have a table showing all beekeeping stuff. So I'll post it, or I guess I'll give the information to Steve to put in the newsletter, but it'll be an interesting thing to hopefully see some 34 folks coming out to support that. Again, that's February 1st from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at Washington Hall. So thanks.
Anyone else have anything for good of the order? Going once, going twice. Okay. Seeing none, and if there's no objection, I will adjourn the meeting.
Okay. All right. Woohoo. Bye-bye.
Hearing no objection, we're officially adjourned right at 9 p.m.
Great meeting. Thank you.
Night,
Thank you.
everyone.
Right on the nose.
you,
Good night,
everyone.
everyone.
Night, y'all.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank
Night,
you.
everyone.
Thank you.
Jordan, great meeting, Jordan. Congrats.
Thanks, Carla.